It is not often that owners of luxury SUVs get to experience their vehicles in such locations. We're at Victoria Falls, and then tomorrow we're off to a 4x4 camping trip in Botswana, and we're here to experience the Land Rover Discovery and the Range Rover Evoque. The smoke that thunders, Mosi Otunia. This is what the local people call Victoria Falls. We arrived in Livingston with Land Rover to a site I had never experienced. There is a saying that goes, when the angels flew over the falls, they must have paused in flight to take a breath. And it couldn't better describe the awe that captures you as you approach this powerful wonder of the world. We drove our Range Rover Evoques right to the very banks of the falls before setting off for a Zambezi river cruise. Ashamedly, I had never seen hippos before, nor had I experienced such tranquility. We shared gin and tonics and local beer as we took in the very best that nature has to offer. The weather has become quite treacherous. I think it's going to be a very interesting, very adventurous day, and it's going to really put these Land Rovers to the test. We set off on an early morning drive to Kazagulu Ferry to cross the Zambezi into Botswana. Now this was, well, interesting. The boats don't look like they could carry people, let alone people and a bunch of Evoques. But it was quick and painless.
Welcome to paradise.
The highlight of this nip and tuck is this new ZF 9-speed automatic transmission. It's going to replace all the 6-speed transmissions that are currently on the models. Do you remember the days when a 6-speed was exciting? All I can say is thank goodness this is not a manual. Can you imagine the shift action? But the benefits of this gearbox is it's more responsive, it has better torque and much better fuel consumption. Really? The Range Rover Evoque has won 146 awards since its launch in 2011, which is pretty darn impressive. So why mess with something that works? So the changes have been ever so subtle. They include new alloy wheels and a new styled Land Rover badge. We drove along the Zambezi floodplains and entered the Zambezi Game Reserve. After some heavy rain, our route took a somewhat different turn, but impressively, the Evoques didn't bat a manicured eyelid. We hit some very deep puddles and muddy terrain, and all the Evoque did was to provide a fun way of traversing through them. People tend to consider the Evoque to be a really soft city car, but it actually does have a terrain response system, which I've now just put into mud and rut, and it makes such a difference going through these pools. The car is a lot less reactionary, and the whole ride is smoother. So it's actually quite impressive. My carefree mood was soon dashed when we arrived at Zambezi airstrip, where 3 rather little planes were waiting. My fear of flying kicked in, even with an elephant there to wave us off. But once in the air, the views were just something else. There is nothing for as far as the eye can see. It's quite spectacular. And after a 20-minute flight, we touched down on King's Airstrip in the Kwai Development Trust, where we made our way along the Kwai River on the edge of the Okavango Delta in the 2014 Discovery. So they say it's going to take us about an hour to get to our campsite, but I'm hoping it takes us a bit quicker with a higher ground clearance than we had in the Evoque to get around these obstacles and to get through these mud pools. Again, heavy rains caused some route headaches, but the Discovery was more than capable. A pride of lions decided to grace us with their presence, as did a herd of elephants, and we arrived at our campsite to sleep amongst these wild animals. Much like the Evoque, the Discovery has had very subtle changes as well. In fact, the only thing to change is the headlamp, the grille, and the Land Rover sign now reads Discovery. Another cool feature on the Discovery and the Evoque is the weight sensor. It uses ultrasonic sensors under the mirrors to determine how much water you're getting yourself into. So if the levels get too low or too high, it sends you a warning, such as. We ended this incredible journey in the Discoveries as we made our way to Maun for our flight home. The changes on both the Evoque and the Discovery are so slight, but they never needed to be dramatic. This is an experience that will stay with me for a long time, and as for Land Rover, they've just gained another fanatic.